All right, and welcome tonight, this Friday night, to the Ukatsu High School Esports League, brought to you guys by Columbia College, Armstrong Teasdale, Veterans United, and Hawthorne Bank. This is week 7. Very excited to jump into it. My name is Ben Brooks, co-founder of Ukatsu, and with me is Tyler Jennings, a streamer and League of Legends player herself. And tonight, we're going to hop into the last games of the first week of the last round robin. That's kind of a difficult way to describe that. But yeah, essentially, again, if you guys don't already know, this is a 9-week competitive season where these players have been competing every single week, Wednesday or Friday, on stage, side by side with their teammates, playing the game League of Legends. Very exciting, and essentially, even you guys might hear stuff online, offline, this really is the first live esports season in the nation. So it's pretty exciting for these kids, for these players, and for all of us here today in Columbia, Missouri, of all places. So more about this game today, though. We're hopping into the game between Hickman High School and Jefferson City. Jefferson City is the home team on the blue side tonight, even though they actually had to travel 45 minutes to get here. Thank you guys for making that trip out here to play against the away team, essentially, being Hickman High School. Coming into tonight's standings, the B team for Jefferson City, they're sitting at a 1-5 record, so obviously not the place they want to be in, but the win that they did receive was later on the season, only 2 weeks ago, so maybe they can translate some of what they had there that allowed them to get that victory tonight. On the other side of the ball, though, Hickman High School's B team is first in the standings for the B team rosters. So pretty exciting to jump into that. If teams are ready to go as well, we're ready to jump into picks and bans right away if everyone else is. Not really sure. Either way, though, tonight, though, it's a beautiful day outside. Very excited. Even though we're right here playing League of Legends tonight. Here we go, actually. Right into the picks and bans. And all right, like we said before, on the left side, we have Jefferson City, the blue side. We're currently in the pick and ban phases of this game, meaning the coaches sitting behind them on the left side for Jefferson City. We have Coach Evan Rolland of Jefferson City and Coach Bruce, Coach Ben Bruce for Hickman High School. And this is the point of the game where the coaches specifically have kind of done some scouting on their own and figured out what do we want to take away from these teams, what do we not want to play against, and what do we want to pick.
I must not fall.
And so on the left side, we've seen 2 bans taken away, the Blitzcrank and the Kaisa taken away from Hickman High School, as well as the Darius. All 3 interesting bans. To be specific, those are not picks Hickman High School has actually prioritized in the past. And of course, on the right side, though, we're seeing Kled ban, the Leona ban, and the J4 ban. Also, pretty interesting picks. Jarvan the Fourth was a pick that Dragon the God, Quinn Kempker, actually, he's something he's kind of familiar with before. We've seen him play the Jarvan the Fourth last couple of weeks, actually, but again, these aren't the picks that traditionally would have seen. Exactly, coming out for the first pick for Jefferson City side, we see the Alawi in the top lane. That's a very comfortable pick for Eli McVeigh. Wolfram 812 in the top lane. He's picked it almost every single week that he has been in the top lane on the B team games. A very comfortable pick, but interestingly enough, though, with that first pick, the Swain goes over to Hickman High School, one of the most contested picks. Can flex either in the mid or the top, and in this meta, it really is a must-pick, must-ban. So, interesting for Jefferson City, opting to select the Alawi first and letting the Swain go over to Hickman High School. Elsewhere, though, we're seeing the Zach come out for Hickman High School as well for Nathan Elmore Nelmore. Again, very comfortable pick for him. He does like those tanks, does like those that kind of engage kind of picks. And Zach has been a very comfortable pick for him in the past, something he's selected previously multiple times. Of course, on the other side of the ball, we see the Kane and the Syndra coming out for Dragon the God and Voltix, Trent Kempker, actually, as well. I haven't seen him play Syndra before, not really sure how strong she is in this meta, but we actually have a new mid laner for Hickman High School, Na-Yo Suho Lee, I believe, is his name, on his Fizz pick. A recent new pickup on the Hickman High School side. He is actually, believe it or not, don't give it away, it's already been selected actually, but he is actually a Fizz one-trick. So a very comfortable pick going over to the Hickman High School's new mid laner on the B team side of the ball. Elsewhere, though, we're seeing the Morgana ban and the Aurelia coming out for 2 more bans for Jefferson City. I guess they weren't really sure, I guess, where the Swain was going. They obviously can flex into... Actually, no, they already picked the Fizz as well. Oh, actually, I'm incorrect. I forgot. They actually used Pro Draft before we got into this picks and bans, meaning they'd already selected what champions they wanted to play, and this isn't actually the order that they selected their champions.
On the Hickman side, they also banned out Aatrox, which right now in this meta, he is very strong, has some nice lifesteal and a nice ultimate to keep him going. And they also banned out the Tristana, who is typically very bursty and in this meta also very strong.
Mm-hmm. And so I like both bot lanes for rosters of Hickman High School and Jefferson City. Actually, for Hickman High School, another new member on the roster, first time playing tonight, is Casey Solomon on Rockstarlet playing the Karma. Karma Varus, a very, very strong bot lane. Varus is also in this meta a very, very strong marksman. You talk about marksman essentially going to fill the role of your DPS, your damage per second, and the later the game goes, the stronger they get better items, and they scale really, really well. Varus is also strong pretty early in the game. He's got a lot of abilities that allow him to kind of scale up. And exciting to see Tom Lawless play a champion like Varus. Again, coming in this league, he wasn't initially a marksman, so learning different characters. He played Quinn a lot early on, Ashe, and now he's branching out to the Varus pick. And so good coaching, or just like a lot of good practice by him to start playing more of these meta and newer AD carry picks. Also on the other side, we see Turtle played by Jarek Kimball, the Jinx pick, as well as the Tarek played by Dark Chaos Elijah Pressman. Exactly. I haven't seen him play Tarek previously. The last couple of times he hasn't actually selected that as his natural support. But again, Tarek is very, very strong alongside the Jinx. Jinx being a very scaling AD carry, one of the hyper carries we see very often when alongside like the Rockbridge's B side. Riley is a very comfortable pick for her. She's carried multiple games for Rockbridge's B games. And seeing the Jinx with the Tarek with a huge invincibility ultimate that can come down, very exciting to see that. So pretty solid comp initially for Jefferson City on the blue side. On the right side, though, again, a lot of meta picks, a lot of strong meta picks, a lot of comfort picks for Hickman High School, other than the newer Varus pick in the bot lane. Very excited to see, though, how Suho Lee and Casey Solomon do. Initially being put in this roster for the first time. It's their first time experiences being played on stage. So we'll see how well they mesh with their team tonight. Otherwise, though, we're in the spectators delay right now. If you're not Riot Games itself, you are sitting with a 3-minute delay. And so the players right now are already in game. They're kind of already they're already playing, and we have to wait a couple of minutes before we actually jump into the game and are able to spectate ourselves. So again, we're waiting. We're trying to figure out, I guess, what comp looks strong at the moment. Tyler, in your opinion, what team would you take if you were to pick one roster or the other if they were played to their strengths?
I'm a little unsure because I don't know how the mid and support play because they are newer to the roster. I'm very excited to see what they have to pull out. I very much do like Jefferson City's overall picks, but there's also, I'm excited to see this Fizz one trick. Typically Hickman has pulled it out in the past. So my heart is with Jefferson City, but I'm curious to. I think that Hickman might pull it off.
Yeah, especially if we talk about win conditions for Jefferson City. I think the only way they can really pull ahead in this game and essentially win a lot of these team fights is going to be around that Jinx. If Jarek Kimball can get ahead, if he can really find a lead early on, or at least get to the point where he scales up to his third, fourth item, Jinx being the hyper carry that she is, can potentially carry a lot of these fights, especially with the Tarek ultimate on top of everything that can protect her. Again, we're a little worried. We've seen Alawi so many times in the last couple of weeks. We know she's a lot of potential to turn fights around with a good ultimate. But again, this is another composition where they don't really have a whole lot of tools to lock people down for her to ultimate on. As well as you have the Swain pick as well in the top lane. If Alawi's able to ult the Swain can ult her back. And there's not a whole lot in that kind of engagement, not very interactive, and Swain's likely going to come ahead, especially when you have the Varus over top of the Fizz able to assassinate the back line like the Jinx or the Syndra. So I think
and
it's going
to Ignite on Jefferson City to kind of slow down that heal.
Exactly, it's a very important point. Ignite being one of the summoner spells that kind of cuts healing, which is an important factor when you take into account the Swain and what his ultimate actually does. So no healing reduction there, at least on summoner spells. They're going to have to itemize to do that appropriately. Later this game goes, or Swain being played by Sam Broderson, Buttflaps97. He's going to be a very scary boy later on that this game goes. As well, actually, we just had a conversation with Tom Lawless on this Conqueror Varus. He actually just picked up a new skin tonight. Very excited to see this skin in action. I actually just recently bought it myself. But again, Varus is very, very strong. The bot lane itself is also very, very strong. So again, it can go either way. It really is going to depend on how well that, I guess, Jefferson City's bot lane does. How well can they get ahead? Are they able to protect the AD carry? long enough in this game, or even able to stall it out late enough in this game for them to actually get to a point where they can win some team fights. But we are actually in game right now, and like we do every single game, we want to point out to you guys and the parents in the crowd, what are the sponsors, the teachers, if you're spectating at home on our live stream, help you figure out exactly who is who, and you can find your son or daughter if she is on stage. So in the top lane for Jefferson City, the home team, which of course are the blue side, we have Eli McVeigh playing Wolfram 812 on the Alawi pick. Again, very common pick in the top lane. We've seen it time and time again. More of a fighter. She looks more like a tank, but definitely more of a bruiser. Has a lot of tentacles and can deal a lot of damage. In the jungle position, we have Quinn Kemker on the Kane pick. Can't really see him right now. He's kind of in this bush, but he does have this big scythe kind of thing. More of an assassin, or it depends on how he itemizes. He's got two different forms. He can be more of a bruiser, engager, or also an assassin in his own right. In the mid lane for Jefferson City, we have Voltix 1269, Trent Kemker on, again, the Syndra pick. I haven't seen it in a long time. Hasn't really been in meta. So we're seeing maybe it's a comfort pick for him. Not really sure. See how he performs on this mage control, the control mage in this game, especially up against the Fizz. And to round out the bot lane for Jefferson City, we have Jarrett Kimball on Turtle playing the Jinx pick again, the machine gun toting, rocket wielding marksman, as well as Dark Chaos 2323 Elijah Pressman on the Tarek pick. He's kind of a, I don't know, he's a fabulous looking character.
Gemstone Master.
Yeah, very funny. He has a really cool tool later in this game. His ultimate, when he reaches level 6, allows him to drop a big circle around him and his bound ally, which makes all of his teammates invulnerable if they're inside of it. On the top side of the map for Jefferson City, or for Hickman High School, we have Buttflaps 97 being played by Sam Broderson on this very contested Swain pick. Again, very interesting that I was able to go over to the red side. Normally in professional play or competitive play, or even kind of in your solo queue, Swain is a very highly contested pick. It's either must ban or must pick if you're on the blue side of the map, and neither were done. So it went over actually to the top side of the map for Hickman High School. Very lucky drop in the draft here. In the jungle position for Hickman High School as well, we have the man himself, Nathan Elmore Nelmore. Essentially, if it weren't for all the damage coming out from usually Alec Harrow in the mid lane, Nelmore carries his team early on with his hard engaged jungler picks. Essentially like the Zac, big tank, a lot of engage, a lot of CC being crowd control. Think your stuns, your knockups, things that just prevent champions from using abilities. And a very solid player for Hickman High School. And actually just getting ganked right now by Dragon the God. Getting a little burn on him with the red buff, but Fizz has this ability that allows him to kind of just jump away. He's untargetable. Real slippery character, definitely more of an assassin, being played by this new mid laner for Hickman High School, Suho Lee on Na Ye Yo. Very excited to see this Fizz pick. This is essentially his one-trick pony. And yeah, excited. Very excited. I always love seeing new players in this league. Whether some players had to sub out, had different obligations. I believe Alec Alejero tonight was actually studying, potentially for a big test coming up. So it's also very important academics are. Oh, seeing the flash come out with the ignite. That's going to be first blood going over to Suho Lee on the Fizz pick. Great first showing by the substitute mid laner for Hickman High School. And for the bot lane for Hickman High School, we have Thomas Lawless. What a excellent name. What a fun name to say on this new Conqueror Varus pick. This bow-wielding character, very strong marksman. We'll talk about him later as this game goes on. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of highlights coming out from the abilities that he has. As well as, again, the new support, though, for Hickman High School, Casey Solomon, Rock Starlet on the Karma pick. Also kind of more of like a mage bot lane. Has a lot of different utilities. She has shields, she has speed ups.
Burst.
Yeah, so a character that you're actually very familiar with as well. In your opinion, how's that matchup do? Do you like playing Karma?
I do like Karma. I like the fact that she begins with her ultimate to boost her other skills. But it does make her mana run very, very low very quickly if not utilized correctly.
Yes, and speaking of mana in the top lane, Buttflaps 97, Sam Broderson actually no mana himself, meaning he can't cast any of abilities. Getting pushed into the tower here. A lot of pressure coming up by Eli McVeigh, Wolfram 812. Already up by a slight CS lead. CS being your minion kills. When you last hit these little red or blue guys in the lane, it gives you bonus gold allowing you to buy items, making you stronger. So you pull ahead in CS, you're essentially winning the lane if you don't have any kills. Same thing though, actually in the mid lane as well. 31 to 13 CS differential in the middle lane. So much pressure coming out. He pops the barrier off for that engage. Suho Lee, so much pressure. And not much of a difference here being seen between Alec Alejero and the Suho in the mid lane. Normally Alec carrying so many games for his Hickman B squad.
Very engaged.
Yes.
Very engage oriented. Even with the...
He already got his ultimate. He's level 6 compared to the level 4 by Voltix.
Oh my goodness.
Voltix uses his flash, but still goes down. That's a second solo kill going over to Suho Lee in the mid lane. Nah, yay, yo. Indeed. And that's not something you like to see. Fizz is traditionally one of your assassin picks. Very bursty. And the earlier he gets fed early on, he's just going to kill. I have a feeling Voltix isn't going to have a very good time the later this game goes because he's going to kill him over and over again. There's already a 2-level experience difference. You don't get your 4th ability, your ultimate ability, until you hit level 6. And he got it before Trent was even able to hit level 5.
We do see him building some mana resistance. We see Syndra mid building mana resistance, so he's trying to counter that a little bit, but at this point, I think it's going to be very difficult for him to counter all that damage.
Yeah, it's a little too late, if I say so myself. You look at the gold differential between the two, only 1,300 compared to the 2,500 gained by the Fizz. He's already almost doubled the gold in the mid lane. As you see here, Trent Kemker currently just kind of confined to sitting at his tower. Not a whole lot he can do to farm without taking a ton of damage. He's still level 4. If Suho Lee has his ultimate ability up, you can pretty much be certain that Voltix is going to go down, especially since he flashed earlier on in this game. Going on also in the bot lane, though, in the bot jungle, more bad news for Jefferson City. Nathan Elmore invading on the Zac pick. Traditionally not like a crazy invading kind of jungler, but the pressure coming down by Suho Lee, also coming down for the counter, or I guess really following up, I guess, on the evade. Dragon the God going down, losing his buff in his own jungle, and giving his life away as well. It's a 3-0 start for Hickman High School. And it's kind of something that happens when you have a mid laner that has so much pressure, that's so far ahead. It allows your jungler a little bit more pressure, a little bit more flexibility to be able to kind of flex into the enemy's jungle, take their resources, because you know your mid laner can follow up. You know your mid laner can take the opponent mid laner pretty easily. So you get a lot more room to flex into the other person's jungle, maybe get some vision, and in this case, take his buff and take his life.
Right now, that's something that we're really seeing lacking with Jefferson City, though, is their lack of vision, which is really going to harm them with Zac going to invade their jungle.
Yeah, correct. Actually, we do not see a single ward. Oh, we see one ward in the mid lane right here for Jefferson City. But yes, so we see here again, actually, Zac roaming. Actually, might be looking for an engage on Voltix again. He's not having a very fun day. He's between his 2nd-tier tower. 4th kill of the game going over to Suho Lee. That's very unfortunate.
And you saw
0-3
him just
start.
standing in the turret, just taking all that damage.
Yeah, multiple pings coming out. Not a whole lot you can say there. He's just so far behind. I don't even believe Voltix is currently sitting at 14 CS to the 50 CS over on the Fizz. If all of you mid laners out there kind of know that matchup, there's not a lot of fun. Not a lot of fun you're having with a Fizz that is that fed, and that especially bodes ill for Turtle in the bot lane, Jared Kimball on his Jinx pick. Very immobile. He is, I guess, like we said before, kind of the hyper carry of his team the later he gets on this Jinx, but she is very immobile. She can't escape from someone like a Fizz. At the bot lane, there's not too much of a lead going on, actually. The CS is relatively even across the board. So normally this would be okay for a champion like Jinx in the bot lane. You're farming up, you're staying even with your lane, but unfortunately it's what's going on in the mid lane and the other side of the map that really spells doom for the bot lane. And we actually see it right now. Look like Fizz, Yayo, Suho Lee was trying to look for a roam bot lane. He has so much pressure, and you can probably count on if he were to get down there, be a for sure kill. Looks like things have slowed back down. Dragon the God, Quinn, looking to find some pressure on the map anywhere, losing multiple buffs. We're actually seeing pings being called out by the red team. They know he is here. Bloodflaps 97, though. Sam Broderson potentially in trouble. He actually getting ulted by the Kane. Under tower, not quite coordinated, though, on this dive. The ultimate healing him. He goes takes so much damage. This ultimate is huge. Sam Broderson looks like he was in trouble. Had only a sliver of health left, getting dove by Quinn, dragging the god. But Wolfram wasn't able to follow up there. And with his ultimate, he sustained so much health back and picks up a kill in return. That's 6-0 now in favor of Hickman High School. They're up by 3,000 gold. Every single lane is, except for bot lane. I guess bot lane's still pretty even. Oh, but so much damage still coming out of Elam McVeigh. But the follow-up by Nathan Elmore secures them the kill in the top lane. Again, unfortunately, back in the mid lane, Voltix, 1269. Trent still confined to sitting at his tower, and it's what it's allowing now Suho Lee to potentially find a roam all the way down to the bot lane. He knows his laner is stuck in the mid lane here, not able to follow up, getting those deep vision wards in the enemy jungle, so they'll know where Quinn goes if he ends up going into his own bot side. Potentially finding a pick. All the control in this game right now going over in favor to Hickman High School. I like that vision, though, on the bot side of the map. Things have slowed back down. The first Drake of the game, though, is the Fire Drake. We see it here. One of the large neutral objectives. When taken by a team, will grant their entire team a buff. The Fire Drake being largely considered to be the most important Drake. It kind of grants your entire team scaling bonus damage as the game goes on. And obviously probably an objective that Hickman wants to take, and Jefferson City doesn't want them to take. So we're seeing good vision, good control. We're actually seeing two members of Hickman High School roaming down to the bot side here. Suho Lee and Nathan Elmore maybe trying to find a bot lane dive. Suho kind of going in a little bit early. No, Elmore actually was leaving. He wasn't there. He just dives, so solo gets the kill. Actually, Tom Lawless was there to back him up. He gets an assist. He actually whiffs his ultimate, but he's just so strong right now, 6-0, and he pops Jarrett Kimball. Turtle was minimal effort, to be honest. Here we are again, though, back in Quinn's jungle. He doesn't even know, but they know that Quinn is there. We're also seeing a roam, though, coming down from the top lane. Wolfram actually maybe trying to collapse. Nayayo, he does escape, though, gets the recall off. It looks like Quinn will get his red buff.
We see Hickman pushing in the bot lane, too. Got first turret gold.
That is correct. First tower going over to Hickman High School. The bot tower, so much pressure. That little dive right there coming down by Suho Lee allows them to pick up that first kill, or first tower. First tower does grant bonus gold for the entire team, so. And with that, they rotate straight to the Infernal Drake. Good macro play by Hickman High School. And again, it's kind of in moments like these, it's kind of unfortunate, and you kind of shake your head when you realize this is kind of a best of one. When you have champions, you have pair of players like Suho Lee that plays a one-trick kind of champion, that plays Fizz only, and exceptionally really good at Fizz, but not as good, I guess, on other champions, or so we've been told. If there were a best of three, he wouldn't obviously get that champion the next game. But because it's a best of one, and this is the last time Jefferson City will get to play against Hickman High School, they just get to experience this Fizz one and done, and that's about it. So maybe actually a good time to sub in Suho Lee to get him some playing experience, some competitive experience on stage. He gets to play his one trick for free and kind of dominate this game. He's actually also bought a Medjai's already. Hasn't even completed his level 2 boots, but completed a Medjai Soul Stealer. Very strong. Now on the top side of the map, also picks up a kill on Wolfram 812, Eli McVeigh, a character that's traditionally supposed to have a lot of health and not normally supposed to be one-shot by an assassin. But yeah. Suho Lee, 7-0-0, making a case for himself. Maybe he doesn't want to be a substitute any longer, trying to get his way off the bench. Either taking the B team spot, or maybe he's even going for the A team position for Hickman High School. Not really sure. It's really going to be up to Ben Bruce on his side to figure out, hey, who's going to be the best mid laner for Hickman High School? We have options now. We're seeing Nathan Elmore maybe looking for another dive on Voltix. Very unfortunate for him. He's down by 70 CS right now. They really are going for him. His first tower's already up. They're diving all the way to the second tier tower. He pops his barrier and his stopwatch, but they're still trying to kill him. He'll get away this time with his life. Actually, going to pick up a kill. He does pop the passive of the Zac. Well played by Voltix. Maybe trying to go for a kill. Oh, he actually probably should have thrown that blob actually into the tower. I wonder if he, I did not even know that Syndra could pick up those blobs. I wonder if he could have tossed that the other direction. Maybe he wouldn't have respawned. I don't even know. Rocket going right by, though. Another tower going over to Hickman High School. Not really sure where that rocket was going. Buttflaps 97 was at full HP, so definitely wasn't going in the top lane. Sam Broderson. Yeah, that's very unfortunate start, though, for the mid lane. Again, Voltix Trent is sitting only at 30 CS at the 15-minute mark. That is abysmal. Actually, seeing a gank, though, coming out by Dragon the God in the top lane. Sam Broderson pops his ultimate. So much damage coming out. He's got all the sustain. Dragon the God is running for his life, but Sam Broderson's taking so much damage from these tentacles. He went way too far, kind of tunneling for the kill on the enemy jungler, letting Eli McVeigh, Wolfram 812, just beat away at him. Very unfortunate. That's a first blood, though. First kill going over to Jefferson City. Sam Broderson getting a little too greedy, a little overzealous there. Kind of probably on the backs of his teammates here. Seeing how fed and how fun that Fizz looks. Sitting at a 7-0 record. He's trying to catch up there, but a little overzealous. Another ultimate, though, coming out of Suho Lee. You hate to see it happen.
It hurts me inside.
We're not seeing the return gank in the top side of the map. Nathan Elmore looking for the engage on Eli McVeigh. Sam Broderson also along for the ride here. Wolfram 812 running for his life. We're seeing the taunt coming out of Suho Lee just there to BM. Bad manners on the mid laner up there. Just rotates all the way up there just to kind of taunt him a little bit and then walks away, not even getting the assist. Again, it's 1-11 right now. 7,000 gold in favor. Oh, here comes the Fizz. This is what we talked about before. The ultimate doesn't even have time to pop onto Turtle. Jarrett Kimball going down instantly to Suho. This is his job, though, entirely. As an assassin, his entire job is to really just delete the enemy AD carry, which he just did. Even if we wanted to put a replay for that clip right there, it would have only lasted maybe half a second. He just disappeared. 9-0 right now. Almost completed his Magi Soul Stealer stacks. Very strong character in the middle lane. Again, it's very unfortunate for Jefferson City, because in a best of 3 situation, it's just we're in a best of 1. This wouldn't happen. They wouldn't get Fizz again. But again, the power of the one tricks in a best of 1 situation, not knowing, I guess, that Fizz is, this powerful, this strong of a pick for Suho. He just gets to kind of put on a highlight reel today. 1 more kill. Again, sitting now at a 10-0 record, no assist. He's pretty much just stomping people left and right. Very, very strong. The rest of Hickman High School now is grouping potentially in the mid lane here. Might try to close out this game. There's not much of a reason for them to stall out this game. The longer this game goes, it does go in favor of Jefferson City. The later this game goes, the Jinx will get stronger if they can potentially peel for her, prevent the Fizz from one-shotting her. Yeah, they might have a chance.
It would take the whole team to shut this Fizz down, especially the Alawi taking all that damage, because Alawi and Tarek, because that's really all the front line that they have.
Yeah, with the Rift Herald, though, being spawned in the middle, and they're going to take 2 towers to... There goes the first inhib tower of the game. They're going to peel off here. Rightfully so. It's probably the smarter play. They are strong. I'd argue that they're strong enough to probably just take the inhib by force. Again, you're looking at the mid laner here. He's sitting at 36 CS, almost at the 20-minute mark.
And Syndra really needs those items.
And they're rotating right back to the Dragon. The second Infernal of the game. Suho Lee on his own, BMing still a little bit more, keeping the entire enemy team at bay. Yeah. Really making a statement here as a sub coming off the bench.
If he continues to play for the team, you're definitely going to see that ban. You're going to see that ban if he plays next week.
Yeah, it'd be very unfortunate for Rockbridge High School to allow this Fizz pick to slip through.
And here comes
Sam
that
Broderson.
scaling from Swain.
Yeah, Sam Broderson himself picking up another kill, solo kill in the top lane. Swain, such a powerful pick. Very contested. Yeah, we've now entered the 20-minute mark. Both Infernal Drakes going over in favor to Hickman High School. It's 14-1, almost a 10,000 gold lead. No towers to 4. What, in your opinion, what does Jefferson City have to do right now if they're going to get a foothold in this game? We already talked about the scaling. Jinx needs to get strong. That's probably their only solution here. But what can they do to get there? Is there anything they can do at this point in the game if Hickman High School decides to group? Although maybe that's the solution too. Maybe Hickman just doesn't group, doesn't end the game. Oh.
I think the only chance that they have is to group up, get the Fizz, get Syndra some additional items so that she can really focus on doing damage to that Fizz.
Yes, it's very important. Trent and Jarek, the carries for Jefferson City, sitting at 0-7-0 right now. A really good CS though by Jarek Kimball to Jinx Turtle in the bot lane. He's keeping up with his lane opponent 150 to 154. So he may have died 3 times, but he's still keeping up in farm. So not as far behind in gold as Trent is, obviously over Suho. But again, the 11 kills going over to the Fizz. It's completed Medjai's. Going for that Rabadon's Death Cap next. Again, this right here is probably the highest health character on all of Jefferson City. An assassin shouldn't be able to do that to an Alawi, but it just happened. 4 members of Hickman High School in the top lane. Not necessary, though. Not needed, at least, to kill Wolfram. This game, again, doesn't need to go on too much longer if Hickman High School just decides to group and push down actual objectives. There we go. We see 4 members of Hickman grouping in the top lane, taking the last outer tier turret. Fizz is so scary in the mid lane. There's not, again, I don't think it might take all 5 members of Jefferson City to stop that Fizz. It does look like the bot lane, though, for Jefferson City might be going for this tower, though, the only tower on the map that's pretty low, kind of sacrificing their top 2nd tier in favor to get some gold in their pockets. Actually, they're not even going to let it happen. A teleport coming in by Sam Broderson to this tower that's already so low. Suho is also down here as well. The ultimate does actually go off this time onto Jarek Kimball with the flash, trying to juke outside. He's just doing what Jinxes do best. Auto-attacking outside. The shutdown does go over to Jarek Kimball. Doing his job, doing what a marksman does best, standing still, right-clicking. Probably not even right-clicking, just auto-attacking once. But the Fizz, the ultimate does come down, though, by Dark Chaos. Great ultimate by Elijah Pressman, keeping his AD carry alive and allowing her to get the shutdown. That's a huge shutdown.
Of the confidence that
yes.
Fizz has.
Yeah, that's definitely a big, huge oversight, overconfidence by Suho Lee. Thinking he just popped that Jinx for free. Didn't have his ultimate, actually, at that point. So, or maybe he did. I'm not really sure, actually. Either way, though, that shouldn't have happened. But good outplay by Jefferson City. Ultimate coming in by Elijah Pressman, getting Jarek Kimball the first kill and the shutdown. That's 15 stacks of his Medjai. He does lose. He's now sitting at 12-1. 15 stacks is still pretty scary, but again, the more you kill this Fizz, when he buys this item, essentially every single kill and assist he gets without dying, he gains stacks. And those stats basically make him stronger. And when he dies, he loses those stacks. So he's shutting him down now is a really good point, really good, I guess, focal point for Jefferson City. Get them maybe a little bit of foothold in this game. Again, the shutdown also grants them bonus gold. So there is that. They did lose their top 2nd tier, though. But they also gained the 2nd tier in the bot lane, though. So it kind of evens out. That's probably a net positive trade, though, for Jefferson City. Actually, definitely. So they are still down, though, by 10,000 gold, 5 towers, and the 2 Infernal Drakes.
They absolutely need to focus on these objectives and get as many picks as possible.
But yeah, if Hickman High School has a couple more, maybe multiple more throws just like that, that's perfect for Jefferson City. We see the Jinx picking up one of her first necessary items. Again, for those of you in the audience who don't really know what this means, items are what make champions stronger. The later this game goes, characters can pick up to 6 items, and that's what makes them stronger. It allows them to scale, allows them to deal more damage, get different abilities, that kind of thing. And Jinx is starting to get her first couple of items. Just right there, though. Dragon the God did just go down, though, to the Fizz. He's still very, very strong, even if he did lose half of his stacks. That's the first kill of the game, going over to Tom Lawless. With that kill, though, with the jungler going down, his primary job is to take these neutral objectives. With him down, Hickman High School feels like they have the confidence now to take this Baron. The giant neutral objective in this pit, it basically buffs all of the minions in whatever lane they're standing in. And when they're standing next to the minions, and allows them to push objectives that much quicker, that much easier. And really one of the I guess, kind of the check marks you want to take, or one of the late game kind of points that you want to get if you want to end the game. So, but with that Baron buff, it looks like they're opting to just rotate instead to the next dragon. It is the third Infernal. That's really unfortunate for Jefferson City that Hickman High School will walk away with this game with potentially 3 Infernal Drakes on top of their 12 and 1 Fizz. Yeah, if we want to look here, 3 Infernal Drakes, that will actually grant 24% additional attack damage and ability power. That is an insane amount of additional attack power for Hickman High School. And that is true. The third Drake going over to Hickman High School. Not really sure what Jefferson City's doing up here. All of their members in the top side of the map. The Baron's already down. There's really nothing up there for them to take. They knew the dragon was coming up. They probably should have at least tried to contest that Drake. They don't really get anything else on the map.
They really
elsewhere.
did not want Hickman
And now,
taking that Drake.
yeah, it's probably spelled the end of this game. Again, multiple members of Jefferson City actually in the top side of the map, not responding or maybe not even respecting what Hickman has in the bot lane. With the Baron buff minions, 4 members just pushing down this lane. Already took the second tier tower. Now knocking on the inhibitor tower. Yeah, Hickman doesn't need to disengage here. They're so strong. They haven't taken an inhibitor yet. It's right here, though. Suho Lee taking the initiative, hopping over the wall. Just going to 3-shot that inhibitor with what little health it had left. That's the first one going down in this game. The inhibitor in the bot lane, though, is not protected by its tower any longer. Potential, probably pretty free, actually, to be honest. But again, Hickman High School taking it slow. And I argue that this is probably a mistake. They're not going to get... I guess the gap in strength isn't going to get much bigger than it is right now. So the later this game goes, whereas they might not lose some of these fights, Jefferson City is only going to get stronger. So this is really the point where Hickman High School, with the gap in strength that they have right now, they should be really trying to end this game. They really can end this game. They probably could have ended this game maybe even 4 or 5 minutes ago. But they're stalling it out. And maybe that kind of goes and kind of contributes to maybe the lack of experience that B teams have. Maybe they just don't know how to end out games. As we've seen that before out of numerous B team games before, is that some of those teams just don't have the experience, don't have the macro ability to just end the game. On the other side of the ball, though, they might just be BMing as well. Again, there's no reason for this game to go on much longer with how strong they are. Looks like finally, though, with the Baron-empowered super minions, Hickman High School is finally grouping at least 3 members in the mid lane. Again, not the best macro call because the inhibitor is already down. They should probably be grouping either on the top or the bot side of the map, empower those minions, at least get the other objectives down if they're not just trying to force end the game here. So here we go. Now we see 3 members finally inside the base, taking down the bottom tier inhibitor. On the top side, we see Nathan Elmore also knocking on the top tower. They're trying to take every single objective in this game before they close that out. Again, it's 2-18, almost 15,000 gold in the lead. Arguably a little excessive. Flash coming out of Suho. They're trying to engage. The ultimate will come down, though, by the Taric. He does instantly pop the rest of them, but we see Jarek. Jarek's going ham out here. 2 kills going over to him. 3 kills potentially. 1 kill, though, going over to Voltix, but unfortunately, Suho Lee is still alive. Going down a little bit late. Suho is just too strong. That really was the fight that they wanted to take. But again, a little too late for Jefferson City. They do pick up a couple of kills. Over to the right people, going over to Voltix and going over to Jarrett Kimball, the AD carry. But with no members left alive, 3 members of Hickman High School will take the last standing inhibitor and likely push down these 2 Nexus towers and end the game. Dark Chaos, Elijah Pressman, and Dragon the God have just recalled. They're going to do their best to destroy these minions, stall this game out a little bit longer, maybe give their carries a chance to respawn, but Dragon the God, Quinn Kemker, just instantly pops. There's so many minions left. I don't even think with these carries spawning is there a chance. We're seeing the emotes coming out by Jarek, and that ends the game right there. Hickman High School B team ending the game pretty convincingly, 24-4, taking every single objective on the map. Again, almost arguably a little over excessive for what they did there, but we're going to see the claps from the audience. And that'll close out the first game of the night for between the B teams. Some of that's very much so contributed to how snowballed the Suholi, the mid laner for Hickman's B squad, really got. It obviously got a little out of control, and I guess they did a good job translating that across the map. But that was a solo carry fizz if I've ever seen one before. But again, though, good game to everyone. We're going to start setting up for the A-team games between Hickman and Jefferson City. So don't click away from your browsers, and we'll be right back.
I like to. I like to. I like to love you every day. I like to love you, love you. I like to love you, if I may, if I may.
And as you just saw in that video right there, yes, at Ukatsu HQ, we do have weekly Fortnite tournaments for cash money, ladies and gentlemen. If you feel like you are good at Fortnite, be it PC, console, you name it, even mobile. Yeah, we'll bring on the mobile guys. You have an opportunity to win the cash pot prize. Last week we were filled. We actually brought the power down in our own facility because there were so many people. We had middle schoolers playing with high schoolers, playing with college kids, playing with after college kids, playing with dads and moms. It was a fantastic event, very positive way to get engaged with your local gaming community. Overall, though, can't wait for the next one. I'm excited to compete myself, Ben.
Yeah, very much so. Again, you guys think you're so great at Fortnite. An 11-year-old win his first game. Also, here he walked away with over $50 in the solo.
Congratulations.
Yeah, very congratulations to him. He's going to come out next week. Him and his brother like to do duos together. Also, alongside that, we're also trying to revitalize the fighting game community in Columbia, Missouri. So we're also hosting Dragon Ball Fighters, specifically tournament brackets alongside the Fortnite. We're going to try to keep a PR, going to have record sets so that we'll be able to record the matches, and you can figure out what you're doing wrong, try to all get better, and maybe go to some tournaments together as a group. It's a really fun community.
Yeah, I know both these titles you can play online, but there's something special about coming together as a community, facing off each other, face to face in an in-person interaction, just like what these teams are doing tonight. Something really rewarding about that, humbling. You can't hide behind a screen. You can't disrespect other people as you would anonymously, and it's a great experience for everyone to grow and just compete on a friendly basis.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And speaking of that, though, we're about to jump into the second games of the night, the A-team games specifically between Hickman High School and Jefferson City High School, both their A squads. And now both these teams have had kind of, I guess, polar opposite kind of roads, so to speak, for how their seasons have gone. Jefferson City's A squad sitting at a winless record currently. And while Hickman High School is currently leading the standings, dropped only one game to the, tied for first with Rockbridge High School, also only dropping one game to each other.
That's right.
So, in some sense of the word, tonight for Hickman High School, this is a trap game for them. This is the trap game. If they were to drop a game to anyone other than Rockbridge, they will jeopardize their chances at getting that first seed coming to playoffs in the next couple of weeks.
For sure, and we cannot go without mentioning that their star player, arguably, Michael Zhou, the Diamond 1 top laner, is out today.
Correct.
For academic reasons, I'm assuming.
Correct.
But filling in is Tim A. That's pretty good. Peters, who has been a very competent top laner for the Hickman B squad, playing Tryndamere. That was his go-to pick. I'm sure if the team has full faith and confidence, he can fill in Michael's shoes tonight. But I just want to make a side note about Jefferson City. I was overhearing the conversations that we just saw the B team game, and it did go very one-sided, but I love the positivity from Jefferson City. They were there. They weren't complaining. They weren't arguing. You're not doing your job here. We hear that a lot with our middle school kids,
Yeah,
Ben.
we do.
But
even some of our high school teams, if we're being honest.
our high school teams. But instead, I heard things like self-criticism. How can I improve? Oh, I should have put more control wards down. I should have had more vision granted for my jungler. It was very productive talk, and that's exactly the type of team Coach Evan Rowland has fostered for Jefferson City. I love that even though they are, they don't have as many wins as some of these high schools, they remain one of the most positive by far, traveling 45 minutes to come to our facility, play a game or two, and even if they don't win, they're ready next week to bring it.
And I'd bet money again. Betting man, I would bet money that this team in a couple of years,
Yes.
not a couple of years, I guess more like a couple of months, if they keep playing the way they are now, they're going to be head and shoulders above some kids who are playing now with a very different mindset. A lot of these players, if you guys didn't already know, are not even level 30. Level 30 being the required level to even start playing ranked in League of Legends. Multiple members of Jefferson City aren't even level 30.
Yeah.
And here they are in some games, maybe not so much last game. They got kind of carried by that fizz, but in a lot of games, they're staying toe-to-toe with teams like Hickman. Even the last round robin, actually, it was relatively close all the way through.
Right. If you were to take a look at the Jefferson City roster, you'd notice that they are a very young team. They just started playing this very intricate game, but they are one of the most ready to learn, ready to adapt and play and compete at the level that the rest of these veteran players have. Because I know Michael Joe's been playing since season 2. That was 6 years ago.
Yeah, 6 years ago. Exactly.
So
6 months, 6 years, big difference there.
Big difference. They're going to be ready to compete next year, no problem.
But again, like I said, though, this is actually, I didn't really think about it, but yeah, with Michael not playing tonight, this is the trap game for
Absolutely.
Hickman High School. They have a lot on the line. Again, they're trying out new members as well. We saw all new members on the B team. Again, we're stepping up now a member from the A team. It's going to be a very different kind of landscape for them.
I'm very curious to see the results of this match. We shouldn't forget, too, in week 1, Jefferson City versus Hickman, that was a very close early game. And it was only because of Michael's teleport plays that really tipped the scales in favor of Hickman. And now, even though we have Tim Peters, we cannot forget the most underrated star top laner in the league, Waddle
Just
Dash.
about to say that.
Can
Chase
we talk
Rue
about
is,
Waddle Dash?
Yeah, Chase Rue is he's been insane week in and week out for Jefferson City, single-handedly almost carrying his team. Well, they didn't exactly win, but there was one game where he had 12 of his entire team's 13 kills. Even in a losing game, consistently doing his job, consistently being a rock in the top.
Yes.
And
he's kind of had a fan base now. We know that there are students and parents and sponsors from actually the other schools. They're not even playing tonight, but Battle and Rockbridge students are here tonight. And Chase, you've got a fan base now. You have something to live up to because you've been making fantastic plays and you have not gone unnoticed. Yeah, you can applaud for Chase. He's been a fantastic player in this league. Very exciting to watch him play. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, I wonder if they're ready for picks and bans.
Yeah, correct. If teams have finished their pro drafts and are ready to hop in, we're also ready to go. Very excited. Both you again. Actually, traditionally, in this kind of fashion, you look at the Hickman and Rockbridge matchups, and normally, obviously, Hickman is the heavy set usual.
They
You're
are
the one that you're
considered
expected to win.
the favored
Exactly.
team tonight. But anything can happen in League of Legends, as we know. And both coaches are getting ready with their picks and bans right now, getting a few things set up. As soon as either Coach Evan Rowland or Coach Ben Bruce gives us the thumbs up, we will start Champ Select. But we can keep talking. I think they still have a few more things to take care of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to be very curious about what we're going to see, specifically, again, talk about Chase, Waddle Dash in the top lane. The game they did very, very well on, they say, the Aurelia pick, kind of a more carry-oriented top laner. And something, actually, if he's not going into a player like Michael, like Dark Quacker, he might have a little bit more success on. And that's probably what I try to put Chase on, put him on more of a carry champion instead of the tanks that we've seen him on week in and week out. Last week playing the Scion, not a whole lot of impact he can have in that lane. He was also camped pretty hard against Rockbridge. We saw a double gank coming in from Jeffrey Mullen, the jungler for Rockbridge High School. They understand that he is the player we want to shut down, and Rockbridge responding appropriately last week. Can Hickman do the same now?
Yeah, I hope so. And for those of you who do not play a lot of League of Legends, essentially what we're saying is Chase has been playing champions that don't dish out a lot of damage. They don't have that solo impact that you would normally have for, say, a Darius champion or any of the damage-dealing champions like Aurelia, for instance. He's been playing a lot of frontline-heavy tank champions, able to withstand a lot of damage and soak it up for their teammates. Now, if they do switch it up this week, I think we're going to see huge results in favor for Jefferson City, but who's to say?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, who's to say, indeed. Hopefully teams are still getting closer to jumping into picks and bans. We'll be ready. We're ready for them, at least. And I guess there's a lot of focus going on. It actually makes sense, though, here. The trap game, they got to figure out, what do we want to play? Some teams are trying to practice more things. The last couple seasons, they're preparing for playoffs, so they're not running into the postseason with only 1 or 2 picks in their pockets. So for a team like Hickman, who is so far ahead in the standings, they're not at risk of losing, dropping first or second seed. They can at least have the flexibility to try more fun picks. But you got to wonder, again, is that what they're going to do when they're kind of playing in a different landscape here with a different
Yeah, and
characters.
speaking of fun picks, I heard a little secret pick in the works for Hickman High School. I'm not exactly sure if they will pick this champion, but if they do, I will go crazy because this is my favorite champion, and I cannot wait to see some play from this particular champion. Again, not going to give any spoilers right now because they still may be in their pick and ban phase. We don't want to influence the picks and bans that come their way, but very excited to see this.
Very, very excited. But
let's
again,
talk about the league as a whole.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say it's very exciting. This is one of the only leagues where you get to have this live action where spectators, we at least have for 20 people in the audience themselves right now. Parents, friends, like we said before, we have members from Battle and Rockbridge who aren't even playing tonight who are here just to watch the game, just to either watch their friends or maybe scout out some competition.
That's the beauty of online gaming now is you can connect online, then you meet them in person, and all of a sudden you're having, some shakes with them at Five Guys or whatever. It's fantastic that these kids can finally have a space to call their own, to come together and compete and be a part of something, represent their school. This is something that's revolutionary. And again, Ukatsu High School eSports League is the only live LAN. That means face-to-face, head-to-head, in-person league in the nation. There are a bunch of other online leagues right now where you go in your classroom after school and you play on your laptops, and that's great and everything for having a large league, maybe 1,000 schools or whatever, but these kids get to build relationships with their opponents, not just their teammates, and that's so rewarding to see, Ben. And I know we run a company right now, but it could get tough and stressful at times. Taking a look back at all of this, like, holy moly. It's so rewarding, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Exactly. And they've already jumped in picks and bans, so we are as well. Of course, we talked a little bit about before. The Respect band is coming out. We see the Aurelia being taken away from Chase Ruiz, Waddle but in return, he does select a more carry-oriented top laner. We see the Camille going over to Waddle in the top.
Huge pick for Jefferson City. Camille is a champion that can just bounce around the walls and deal that type of damage that we think, or at least Ben and I have been talking in our dinner meetings, we think that he's more capable of influencing the team's outcome for Jefferson City when he picks a champion like that. Looks like we do have to redraft very quickly over here. Might have had some technical difficulties, but let's continue talking about the Jefferson City squad. We can't forget Escape Velocity Cameron Day, the highest solo queue ranked player on their team, a very stable, rock solid player that fills out the composition really well.
Very versatile, actually, too. I think we've seen him made fully a champion twice in this league. Like the same time, the same champion twice. He's picked new champions week in and week out, and really done a good job, at least, of being able to deal the damage that they need coming out into this game. Coming out also in the bot lane, though, we have Silver Eagle 99 playing on Turtle. Something happened with his account recently, really out of his control, so he has to use one of his teammates' accounts in the marksman position. But he's really grown as a player as well, traditionally one of the B team AD carries. And he's done a pretty decent job, at least being able to play safe and understanding what his job is as a role, just auto-attacking the people in front of him, scaling. And he's getting a lot more experience as the game goes on. And as such, he's on the A team again tonight.
Yeah, we'll see how exactly Jefferson City handles the team fights. Again, what you want to traditionally do is keep your front line tanks in the front, guarding those squishy champions. And that's something that we've kind of seen Jefferson City struggle with in the past few team fights. But this time around, hopefully they can come together and position correctly for that. And, of course, we still have Tyler Lindsay here with us as our color commentary. What are your opinions about, you've seen the action in the last 7 weeks of Ukatsu High School eSports League, brought to you by Columbia College, by the way. But what do you make of the high school eSports that you've witnessed? Microphone now on. There you go.
I think that it is creating a very wonderful and positive sort of environment that is lacking in gameplay as of now. When you nailed it on the head earlier, Joe, when you said when there is a screen in front of you, you have the gusto to make really mean comments and kind of bully the people either on your own team or on the enemy team. And here, when you're face to face and you're building those connections, you're getting better by having that commentary and also having coaches involved to understand the gameplay and the support to keep yourself positive and moving, it's something that I personally find to be very beneficial for my own gameplay, is seeing that this is the future of gaming.
Oh,
it's
yes.
going to be positive. It's going to be team oriented and not I'm going to carry, you're
Yes.
not going to do anything. It's just, I think it's building just overall, it's going to spread into a better community for everybody.
Yeah, that's one of the pros and cons to League of Legends, especially because of its online teamwork aspect. It's very easy to go in by yourself and start playing a game, and if you're not doing well, you just start blaming your other teammates. You don't know who they are. You don't know. Oh, Ben's just fixed some sort of technical issue. He's dancing about it. He'll be here in just a moment, but as I was saying, it's very easy to start blaming your teammates, especially if you do not know them. But here, when you're sitting next to them, you can talk things out. You can realize that the person you're playing with is a real person with real feelings and an opportunity to foster each other in a positive way to improve as a team. Those are the intangibles that you just cannot get in an online league, in my opinion.
And I definitely see that a lot with Jefferson City, is that they continuously, even though they are new and they're building their skills, they continually have that positive attitude. They're not leaving here like mad or upset. They're trying to grow into being better players, better people,
Right.
better team, everything. And I think that's what everyone needs when they start playing some sort of game. Even, you get that in football, you get that in volleyball, and now we're getting that in gaming itself.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. eSports, it's here. It's leading to scholarships. It's leading to STEM programs. It's leading to professional play. And even if you can't make it to the pros, there are so many career opportunities, whether it's casting like we're doing tonight, business management, accounting, you name it. There is a shoe that needs to be filled in the esports industry, and that's also what we do here at Ukatsu. If you didn't already know, we're not just an arcade for kiddos. We actually teach those job marketable skills like photography, coding, videography, editing. A lot of these kids want to be YouTube stars someday. And even though they may not be YouTube stars, they do learn the consistent work ethic required to make it big in this industry, because it really is about going out there, meeting people, and delivering consistent hard work. That's everything that we encompass here at Ukatsu facilities. And Ben, how did you solve those problems? What was going on over there?
They just didn't plug it in. Of course, that's always the issue.
The oldest solution in the book. Plug. I used to work at Geek Squad, and I really hesitated to ask, so I just did it myself. I just unplugged it and plugged it back in. I said, "Oh, it works!
Yeah.
I've got magic fingers." And
you plugged it in?
Yep, that's exactly what we
Is the
did. It's like,
switch
oh,
on?
Geek Squad, yeah. So our teams are just about ready to queue up. Looks like Coach Ben Bruce and Coach Evan Rolland are just talking it up right now, getting their players ready for the game to start. Draft is starting very soon. Thank you so much for watching online on twitch.tv/playukatsu. If you are not able to make it tonight, you're missing out, but we do appreciate every single view we get on Twitch, as it helps us to to spread the word about youth esports in America. And here we are, picks and bans. Now, we already know what the first pick will be for Chase Ruiz, which will be Camille, the aggressive, much more aggressive top laner, one that we are very looking forward to see in this team composition fight. He can dive the back lane very easily with his abilities as he skips around the map. Respect Janaban coming out from Jefferson City. That will go against Renee Tellman, who has been phenomenal in her performance as Jana, almost going deathless this entire season up until last week, that is. So very expected ban coming out because she is very strong on that champion.
Yeah, likewise with the Kaisa, fills in very well for what Ghostubot, Matthew Perkins, his play style, essentially what he likes to do. He loves to be on the front line, loves to be probably one of the most aggressive AD carries I've seen and played against specifically. He just loves to be at the forefront of his team, which isn't normally the positioning that you like your marksman to be. We see him flash forward, jump forward so many times. Kaisa, a very comfortable pick that allows him to do just that. Taken away from him. Blitzcrank also being taken away. Most likely a pick they just don't want to play against, as I personally know Renee Tellman doesn't really like that kind of support. So maybe just something they don't want to play against just in case it comes out. Likewise, though, very similar bans on the top side of the map, taking away the comfort pick, the Aurelia, as well as the Sway.
That is The lock-in for Lee Sin. That is Bo picking the one, the only Lee Sin champion. My favorite one-trick, and I'm not even a one-trick, but definitely my favorite type of champion. The reason being, he's a very high skill gap champion. It is very tough to be good at this champion, but he is a heck of a lot of fun to watch, and I cannot wait to see the plays that Bo has for us in store tonight during our Hickman versus. I'm excited.
We saw Uncle Angel give us the high five,
giving us the thumbs up from across the room.
letting
Thank you
you
so
know.
much, Bo. You've made this league 10 times better, in my opinion. But let's not forget about the other picks. Tim Peters' aid. That's pretty good. Picks Ornn. Ornn, a very solid Ram God.
We've seen him
pick.
play this multiple times before. Very comfortable tank. He has a lot of different abilities, a lot of utility he provides for his team. He's going to be that rock in the top. Might not be a Dark Quacker, but he'll be able to probably be a stable top laner and
Absolutely.
try to stop Waddle Dash from getting too far ahead. Not a bad pick.
For sure.
For the mid lane, though, we see the Lux going over to Hao. Now, that's interesting because Hao Huang,
Yikes.
Hao One, He's
good.
He's
good
very
at
good
Lux.
on the Lux pick. We don't talk about him too much. He's usually maybe the fourth in line for where it gets the resources are allocated on that team, either third or fourth. But he's always been solid on that pick on the Lux, sitting in the back line, getting amazing snipes. Champions players think they got away, and he just gets sniped away by the Lux ultimate from Hao. And it's very surprising that they let him have it again.
Yes.
He's won every single game that he's played Lux.
Yes,
And
if
I don't know,
any
it's-
school has been paying attention, I would suggest banning that character when you play against Hao, because he's been able to find snipes across the map. That is Lux's ultimate ability to fire a giant laser beam, kind of like the Death Star, but encompassed in a tiny little female figure. But it is certainly deadly. But let's not forget the team composition as we have noticed our last few picks.
Yes.
Holy moly,
I
Jefferson
really
City
like
has
Jefferson
an amazing
City's
team composition right now.
I was just about to say that. Probably one of the first times I can actually say that Jefferson City might have actually outdrafted Hickman High School. Hickman High School usually has very, very solid drafts by Coach Bruce. But here on the other side, they have very solid engage. They have a really strong identity as a team. They have a lot of champions that want to move forward. They can move together as a team, as well as picks that synergize well together. We'll have to highlight, I guess, what the Oriana does when Escape Velocity's playing. He has this ball that he's able to throw around, and all of his abilities come off of that ball. One thing he can do is put that ball on one of his teammates, kind of like the Zac, the champion that we've seen a couple of times. Nelmore played it last game that can jump forward, and it's kind of like a delivery system for the ultimate for all the abilities of Escape Velocity. And they have so much engage and so much AoE damage they can throw out there with these three picks in the top and jungle and the mid laner for Jefferson City that it's going to be really fun to watch. I mean, hopefully a lot of team fighting this time around if Jefferson City can execute it correctly.
The synergy on Jefferson City side, it really does outmatch the side of Hickman's high school's picks. Ornn, Lee Sin, Lux, Zaya, Nami. Those aren't the most meta picks. And by meta, we mean when you look at the professionals playing this game at the current time, most professionals are not picking Lee Sin. Most professionals almost never pick Lux as a champion. But maybe the Hickman squad themselves have a little more experience and are more comfortable on these champions. So overall, though, would you rather pick what's hot right now, according to the professionals, or would you rather have them pick their comfort picks? How would you be?
Preferably, I'd say both. Hopefully, you're comfortable on the meta picks. But again, when it comes to high scores, comfortable picks are probably more preferred.
Yes.
Again, these are picks, though, that some are comfort picks and some we haven't seen before. Zaya, again, not traditionally the kind of style that Matthew Perkins goes about likes to play. I like it, though, in response to the team that Jefferson City has drafted. Both the Zaya and the Nami, played by Cookie Renee Tellman as well. They have a lot of disengage. Both their ultimates can allow them to keep them alive, kind of avoid some of that hard engage that Jefferson City has. So at least they have tools to respond to the composition that Jefferson City has drafted.
Absolutely. For those of you who are watching here or at home, expect the following. Jefferson City wants to fight. They want to be 5 versus 5 at any given time because their team composition synergizes so well with each other that there's almost no way for them to really lose their carries if Zac, Dragon the God, and Tarek, DJ Rice, are doing their job. Meanwhile, for Hickman High School, they may be looking for picks in this situation, using the Nami bubble, the Lee Sin Qs, and obviously the Lux bindings to find individual players on Jefferson City to pick apart so that once they've eliminated one person, they can now go enter a 5 versus 4 team fight with the advantage on their side. So we'll see how they balance these team compositions out. Ultimately, it does come down to communication, though. Who engages when? And that's something that we're going to see if coaches Rollin or Bruce have done their job to explain this concept to both teams tonight.
And if I were to be a part of this team right now, the person that Jefferson City needs to highlight, and specifically Waddledash needs to jump on in every fight, is going to be Hal. That Lux needs to go down just by the way he plays. He positions so well in the back line, just throwing out abilities, dealing damage consistently, time in and time out. If Waddledash can get to him, there's a good chance that these team fights are going to go in favor of Jefferson City. But with all the disengage that the Zaya and the Nami have in the bot lane for Hickman High School, not a good idea to jump on them initially. It should be about Lux, be about Hal first. Same thing for the ganks. They should be ganking the mid lane early on, if not the bot lane, to get that Jinx ahead. But that's how the team fights work out. I guess that's another question too, though. Can Jefferson City execute this comp correctly? Do they understand their win conditions? Because if this game, if they win, if they kind of lose, I guess they lose their lanes individually early on, it's going to spell a very difficult time for Jefferson City if they aren't able to group. We've seen that a couple of times out of different compositions, that team's draft. They put together a really, really fun team fighting comp or a really, really fun scaling composition, and they never get to that point. They don't understand exactly what their win conditions are. And I guess that's going to be the question here. I do like Jefferson City's composition better.
Yes, they certainly have the late game team comp. So if you were paying attention, Hickman High School, I should say, is looking to seal this game early. Less than 30 minutes at max. Otherwise, you do have a lot of damage drop-off coming from Bo, who is playing Lee Sin. Uncle Angel is his gamer tag. Meanwhile, Jefferson City, they can go up to late game where they can rely on Jarrett Kimball, who is playing Jinx tonight, to deal so much damage late game that they may be unstoppable. We'll see, of course, how that all plays out right now in Game 2, Week 7. Hickman High School versus Jefferson City in the Ukatsu High School eSports League, brought to you by Columbia College.
A trap game indeed. We see multiple members of Rockbridge High School actually, even in Twitch or here in public, cheering on Jefferson City. If Hickman does drop a game tonight, it puts Rockbridge in an excellent position to take first place in this league. But again, to highlight the players of all of these rosters, first and foremost, we got to highlight, once again, the top laner, the star himself of Jefferson City's A squad, Chase Ruiz Waddledash on this Camille pick. Right now, kind of a robot lady. Got a lot of engagement. 2 robot ladies right here. We also have the mid laner of Jefferson City, another kind of robotic lady with the ball. That is Cameron Day, escape velocity. In the jungle position, we have Dragon the God, Quinn Kemker. Again, he played last game. He played the Kane, but this time he's playing Zach instead. So very exciting to see him on maybe more engaged, more of a kind of a back roll kind of, I guess, kind of position for his team. In the bot lane, we have once again Jarrett Kimball, Turtle, playing the Jinx. Again, played it last game. Didn't really get a chance to really scale and do his job, but he's got the machine. Actually, we're seeing an invade. I was seeing a deep ward coming out from the bot lane of Hickman High School. Not going to do much there, though. And, of course, to finish it off, though, in the support position, we have Ryan Wilkerson, DJ Rice, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the Tarek pick. An excellent pickup for what their team, I guess, needs to run. We saw Elijah Pressman on his Dark Chaos also playing this champion, the same bot lane last game. And it worked out when they were able to get that ultimate down. So if they have a better team comp and they're able to execute it properly, it'll probably dish out a lot of damage.
That's right. And of course, let's talk about the Hickman A-team squad. First up, we have in the top lane, Tim A. That's pretty good. Peter is playing Ornn, the Ram God, who has the power to summon a monstrous Ornn or Ram to charge in and knock up anybody he sees in his path. Of course, we have Bozen Ren, Uncle Angel, who is actually stealing blue buff right now, the enemy blue buff, taking that away and denying it from Dragon the God.
Jefferson City does have vision of this.
He does have vision.
Happening. This is the 3rd time that this has happened to Dragon the God, his blue buff being constantly stolen time in and time out. But this time, Jefferson City are aware. They know that this has happened.
And here comes Cameron Day to hopefully clean up, provide a little bit of support for his champion. But Dragon the God, nowhere to be seen. A little late to this party. Bo taking a few tower shots. He's going to be low on health, but does still manage to get out alive with the blue buff, the enemy blue buff, which means that Quinn Kemker, he does not have that cooldown reduction provided from that monster.
It looked like there he might have been in some trouble. I liked the kind of collapse that Jefferson City had, but Dragon the God not able to follow up.
A little bit of miscommunication there. That's exactly what we're hesitant to see when it comes to these team fights. Will they know how to position themselves to capitalize on, hey, we know Bo's in our jungle. We can just take him out right now. And if they go together, then they could have easily killed that pesky little Lee Sin in the enemy jungle. But let's not forget the rest of the Hickman squad. In the mid lane, we have Hao Huang playing Lux, his favorite character this season in the Ukatsu High School Esports League. He's currently playing a light mage, I would say, like a mage that uses light as her ability power. And rounding out in the bot lane, we have Matthew Gosu Bot Perkins along with Renee Cookie Tellman playing Zaya, the feather human being, and Nami, the mermaid. And as we see a trademark lane gank coming in from Uncle Angel, that is Bo playing Lee Sin, hoping to find a pick early because that is exactly the type of champion that Lee Sin is. He's known to wait a while in these bushes.
Spending a long time.
Does not land the Q.
Oh, great
Although
bubble
Cookie does land a bubble, not that much damage. We see claps coming out already for Jefferson City as Uncle Angel, that would be Bozen Ren playing Lee Sin tonight. He does not successfully get that gank. So pretty well done from Jefferson City, wasting the time of the enemy jungler.
Yeah, kind of like we were talking previously before we got sidetracked with highlighting the players. You got to wonder, Battle was in a similar situation a couple weeks ago, last week when they're up against Rockford. Oh, great feather call from Gosu Bot. He ends up, see these little red things right here. Oh, actually, we're flying all over the map. But these little feathers, he can call them back with an ability, and as they pass through a champion, they deal a lot of damage. Specifically, if you pass more than three, I believe, you actually root them in place. So, Turtle, Jarrett Kimball, stuck behind his tower for the there he is right there.
Up against
he
the ropes right now. Though a stun does come out from Mr. DJ Rice. Hickman's bottom lane, that's again Matthew Perkins and Renee Tellman. They are pressing up and being very aggressive right now because right in the jungle, yet again, here comes Bo coming around to the bottom lane, hoping to find an early gank. That is his job as Lee Sin, the character. We'll see what happens when the next wave of minions crashes into the turret.
Yeah, all members of the bottom lane do have their summoner spells up. That means their flash and their heal. They'll likely be able to escape unless they actually go for a dive on this tower. Uncle Angel is still waiting. Waiting for a while, actually.
He's a very patient
jungler.
Yeah,
very
or a patient
uncle.
angel. Yeah. Maybe both. This, again, is a trademark of Bo, who sticks around in lane for a long time.
Not, again, a classic
Sun's
Gosu Bot with the flash on the marksman. Not a whole lot he can do there. They are going to force the flash out from DJ Rice as well. Flash for flash. Honestly, though, that's a positive win for Jefferson City, though. Wasting Uncle Angel's time.
So the downside of being aggressive like that for Bo, the jungler for Hickman High School, is that he is wasting the opportunity to kill these minions in his jungle. That is experience lost, and that is items lost because you don't get as much gold if you're just sitting around waiting for something to happen. With a failed gank, it's almost a negative return on your investment spent.
Yeah, with all that pressure, though, in the bot lane, Jarrett Kimball has fallen behind a little bit in CS. Does look like, though, they know that the bot lane for Jefferson City has recalled, so they're instantly rotating to the
Dragon the
I
God
thought I was gonna miss.
Jumping in, forcing a flash for Hao in the mid lane, but they know exactly what's going on. That is Hickman taking the early Infernal Drake. This is a
one of the night.
Fourth one of the night. This is a very important objective for Hickman High School. That gives permanent damage buffs to every single member of Hickman's squad. So I love that early dragon call. Bo not able to get a kill through a gank, but this time he just says, you know what, let's take objectives. Let's try to get ahead this way.
Yep. Yeah, not the earliest of, again, this is actually still better though for Jefferson City. As long as they don't fall behind, they don't lose too many kills, no one's snowballing, they're still in a good place. They're actually ahead in gold right now. Some of that's attributed to the gold lead in the top lane. Should even out though in the mid lane.
That's Waddle Dash right there.
But again, Battle's in a similar situation a couple weeks ago against Rockbridge where they found an early lead. Again, being the underdogs, it looked like they might be able to take the game with the pressure they had early on, but huge ultimate coming out of Hao, unable to kill though with the barrier coming out from escape velocity. But as I was saying though, I guess they were put in a very unfamiliar situation, not really sure what to do with a gold lead, and they weren't able to close out the game. They didn't understand their win conditions. Now likewise for Jefferson City here, they haven't won a game yet. So with a winning composition like this, Can they execute it?
Yeah, we certainly hope so. Again, League of Legends, when you're ahead, you want to continue the aggression. You want to stay ahead because as the game gets longer, your opposing enemy, they easily catch back up in gold and items, which means it becomes around the 45-minute mark a pretty even fight, no matter who has been stomping each other early game. So again, very set win conditions and objectives, just like in real life, for both squads here tonight, Jefferson City and Hickman High School. Little trade going on between Chase and Tim, though there is a about 13 CS differential. That's creep score when you last hit a minion, just like, oh, he misses it. But he gets that one. Tim tries to deny the cannon minion, but unsuccessful for doing that. But when you hit these last minions, to eliminate them, you get a little bit of gold, and that's exactly how you get those numbers at the bottom of your screen higher.
Okay, we're seeing a big engage coming out from Gosubot. Actually does not land the root with the Feather Call. Forces the flash though on Jarrett Kimball on the Jinx. We see the exhaust coming out as well from Renee Talman Cookie. Turtle is so very low here. Jarrett probably has to recall. Back in the mid lane though as well. Escape Velocity Cameron Day is trying to run away from this gank from Uncle Angel. We actually just missed a first blood in the bot lane as well.
Chase continues on for Bo as he lands a Q and starts pecking away at Cameron Day.
Oh,
a flash kick coming in, one of the techniques, and it does serve it up to Hao, who gets the clean, easy snipe.
So 2 kills going over to Hickman High School. Dragon the God has rotated back down to the bot lane to try to defend this tower. Gosubot is very low, but as is the bot tower for Jefferson City. That's 2 kills though going over to Hickman High School. Good gank by Bozen Ren with a stylish kick flash kick.
Some would say maybe a little unnecessary, but I love the play. And regardless, again, Lee Sin, a very exciting champion. It's not easy to do what he just did. But let's talk about the CS differentials in the bottom lane. We see Matthew Perkins Gosubot with a substantial lead now over Jarrett Kimball, Turtle, who's playing Jinx tonight. This is going to mean a lot of trouble for Jefferson City if they do not bounce back and creep score. Hopefully, in the top lane, Chase can capitalize, though, on his small lead and maybe swap lanes to do something about this team.
Yeah, that's going to point out the beginning of this game. Up against a tank like Ornn, there's not a whole lot of kill pressure going over to Chase Waddle in the top lane. So the jungler, Dragon the God, Quinn, he kind of needs to focus his efforts on the bot or the middle lane. Chase isn't going to fall behind. You already know that as a fact. He's not going to fall behind. So you really need to focus your efforts on the bot lane, on the mid lane.
Yes, help your other lanes. And we did notice that Chase did use his teleport ability to get back into top lane, which means he will not have some sort of crazy TP play to help out his bottom lane as they get pecked down right now.
Out from DJ Rice on to Gosubot, also getting stuck by the traps onto Turtle. Tower solo, probably only 1 hit away, right?
Yes, maybe 2 hits or a little bit of help from the minions. But again, if you do eliminate the tower first, you get first turret blood and give gold to the rest of your team as well. Very huge objective to take in League of Legends. Missed ultimate coming from Dragon the God. Does not successfully gank Tim Peters up in the top lane. No, we see a re-engage coming in. Bo misses his abilities. Lee Sin, a very skill shot dependent champion. Meanwhile, Chase has applied the stun. And here comes Hal, though, to clean up any sort of mess that they have made. A flash forward from Tim, able to secure the kill. But the fight continues on as the rest of the squad appears. Ultimate coming down from Cameron Day. Hal flashes over the abilities. They are so low. Hickman High School. We're going to see what exactly happens as Tim, excuse me, that's pretty good. Tim does not have enough mana to do anything about this, but Matthew Perkins, all the way from the bottom lane, comes all the way to the top lane and cleans up the rest of this. That would be 3 kills, if I'm not mistaken, for 0 in favor of Hickman High School.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we were talking about earlier, the macro play. Knowing and identifying, hey, I need help. And even players like Matthew and Renee will step all the way up to the other side of the map just to help out their teammates clean up the fight.
Instant teleport by Tim Peters as well to the bot lane to protect this tower. Great rotations by Hickman. It's just what they're known for. They have that experience. They understand, hey, we won this fight, but let's push that advantage. Let's get even further ahead. And very well played by Hickman High School in that engage up top. We saw how instantly roaming to the top lane once the members of Jefferson City showed, and they turned this into a tower and a Rift Herald to build a 5-turret lead.
Right, that's exactly what we were talking about earlier, that Jefferson City wants to fight as a team, but not all team members were present.
Yeah, right up here in the top lane, Hal makes it up there, lands the ultimate. Chase looks like he's going to escape.
Oh.
Doesn't, though, with Tim Peters forcing another flash. But right here is where things get very interesting in the top side of the map. Escape Velocity comes up, lands the ultimate. Quinn overshoots his Q just a little bit, but unfortunately, Escape Velocity auto-attacks a minion instead of Uncle Angel, and both of them are kind of on the retreat here. The bot lane also shows up. He lands the bubble. Nice bubble by Cookie, but the nice flash feather call by GhostBot picks up the
Very long but fantastic replay brought to you by Veterans United, one of our proud sponsors of the Ukatsu High School eSports League. While we were watching that instant replay, however, Uncle Angel, that would be Bo playing Lee Sin, did manage to secure a kill on the enemy jungler Dragon the God. That would be Quinn Kempker. So he did land a Q. I was watching the other screen. He landed a Q pretty deep into Jefferson City's base and secured the kill. So doing his job as the early pressure champion. Tim currently in trouble as we see one ultimate from Cameron Day coming down. He will not go down without a fight, though, and kill secured from Jarrett Kimball, the AD carry for Jefferson City. That's going to tip the scale slightly towards Jefferson City again. That will close that gold lead gap a little bit.
Yeah, Tim Peters, though, again, subbing in for Michael Joe, Dark Quacker, doing an excellent job filling the gap that I guess is the Diamond 1 top laner, but also goes to show the rest of his team is able to step up when that carry is gone. We hear sometimes multiple members.
Rocket incoming, by the way, into Dragon Pit. Does
get
secure
stolen.
the Dragon kill. Fantastic play by Jefferson City. Holy moly, calculated. Can you say calculated from Jarrett Kimball, who gets a kill and then just throws a rocket, gets the Dragon too. Fantastic plays. That'll keep the morale. That will certainly keep the morale higher and up for Jefferson City right now.
Oh, we saw the insect coming out from Bozen Row. He goes down, though. Yaltri coming out from the Tarek, keeping Jinx alive. She's positioned on the outside of the fight, currently targeting the mid laner. Jarrett Kimball is going off. No, he will go down, though, to Matthew GhostBot Perkins. Huge team fight for Jefferson City.
And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we have a game between Jefferson City and Hickman High School. 4 players from Hickman going down. We really appreciate the insect, Uncle Angel, but when you're going up against a Tarek, that's just not good news, and you're almost baiting the rest of your team to go in as well. Let's not forget, though, both the carries in this game. Chase Ruiz. Let me see what's happening over here. Nothing too crazy. Chase Ruiz and Jarrett Kimball need to get the kills, and that's exactly what they just did in that last team fight.
Excellent.
Now the gold lead's only 2,000.
You gotta wonder, I think that was a little bit of a morale boost. I actually recorded the clip of him stealing the dragon, but had to overwrite that for that team fight, allowing Jarrett to flash forward. We'll watch that here in a little bit. Looks like there might be a little bit of action going on. But yeah, he flashed forward into the backline, thinking of the Nami first. Probably not the best targeting. He's targeting the support over the other carries, but he does take out Hao as well. So very well played by Jarrett Kimball, Silver Eagle, or Turtle. Normally his account Silver Eagle 99, and right where they need to be.
And this is a huge play for Jefferson City, who has, unquestionably the better team composition. Remember, Hickman High School wants to close this game out early. I would say sub 25, sub 30 minutes right here. And that team fight going in favor of Jefferson City completely stopped that. We heard the crowd go wild. Rockbridge High School, a few of their members are here tonight. They are cheering on Jefferson City because they want to secure the #1 ranked spot tonight. And if Hickman loses, they will move up there. So very hype match coming in tonight. 5 kills to 7, slightly in favor for Hickman High School, but that is not to say that Jefferson City is out at all.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it's going to go down. If Hickman loses tonight, Rockbridge will have to drop a game to either Battle or Jefferson City in the last 2 weeks.
Very safe flash coming out from Chase Ruiz. Waddle Dash avoiding the gank from Hao. Incoming with an ultimate for the re-engage, however, is Zach. Gets trapped by the ultimate from Chase, and he does clean up the kill right there. Actually, Cameron Day cleans up the kill. now making it a 6-7. Meanwhile, a 2 versus 3 in the bottom lane as Jefferson City desperately tries to defend the tier 2 turret. Stepping up just a little too far, however, is and just like that, Uncle Angel playing Lee Sin, going for another insect. He's going to land this next Q. Doesn't need to follow up with it because Matthew Perkins cleans up that kill as well. So we just saw two swings. Two swings. One initially in favor for Jefferson City up at top, but then recognizing the outmatch, the 2 versus 3 bottom lane, Hickman does step in.
Yeah, GoSubot, arguably the primary carry for Hickman High School. That's where most of their resources actually go. Showing that he can even flash forward, step up, and really carry his team in the absence of Dark Whacker. Now with this little bit of break here, we're going to go back and watch that replay of where Jefferson City was really able to find a foothold back in this game. We see Renee Tellman actually spawning the Rift Herald. Didn't even see that at the beginning of this fight. They're desperately trying to take down this mid-second tier tower. The insect comes in clean by Bozen Ren, but he doesn't go down immediately. Good luck salt lands on both Cameron Day and the Zach, but the flash from Turtle, they'll have to get in the backline, take out multiple members. Oh, but he doesn't quite get outside the range of the ultimate from Matthew. And he takes him down, but that's a huge swing in favor of Jefferson City. It's really what allowed him to get him back.
Thank you, Veterans United, for that replay. I also wanted to acknowledge the beautiful ultimate from Quinn Kempker, the jungle for Jefferson City High School, Dragon the God. He made a fantastic 3-man ultimate. His ultimate ability, by the way, actually we might see it right here as he does go in. Fantastic pick coming in for Jefferson City, closing the gap 7-9 right now as the rest of Hickman's squad camps this bush, hoping to find
looking for
somebody.
A death bush.
Here he comes. Dragon the God does get rooted, taking all the damage. However, we're going to see how this team fight plays out. Ord ultimate coming in. And
but the Jinx is still alive. Turtle is still alive. Cameron doing his best to lock him down. Oh, but unfortunately, that entire fight, Jarrett Kimball wasn't able to auto-attack anyone in that fight, and a triple kill goes quadra kill goes over to Matthew GoSubot Perkins. That looked like a good fight for Jefferson City initially.
That was a very interesting team fight, and I hope we can break that down. Not to say anything as Hickman does attempt to take this Baron objective, which would be huge if they do secure it. But if we were to take a look back at that play, which we do have, I believe, been very good about recording our instant replays. Initially, this works really well in the favor of Jefferson City. They throw everything at their tank, the enemy tank, and it's just a little bit of positioning that goes out of Jefferson City's hands when Turtle steps up just right here and gets caught. That's what turns this whole team fight around in favor of Hickman High School. Matthew, just easy pickings right there.
That was a 4v5. How wasn't present. And Chase Ruiz doing an excellent job jumping right on the carry, right who he needs to go. So Hal's not alive. You need to kill GoSubot. Locks him down, but unfortunately, Cameron Day got caught out in the initial ultimate. He's not there to deal any damage. One of the only other damage dealers on his team. And Turtle, who was able to survive, Jarrett Kimball, he just wasn't in range, though. If he was there to throw out maybe 2-3 rockets, GoSubot would have gone down with the items that he has, and they would have won that fight.
Absolutely. We talked about this earlier. In the team fight, when things are happening, when abilities are flying, when particles on the screen are just going all over the place, can you keep your composure? Can you position correctly? Because Jarek, he does not have a lot of health. He's got a lot of damage. He needs to stay in the back line, chipping away, throwing down his rockets on the team, or else something like this happens where you lose Baron objective and now the Air Drake, as Hickman does clean that up as well. Rocket will not steal Dragon this time, so a little more discipline from Jefferson City could easily seal this game for their favorite. Let's just hope they can do that next team fight.
Exactly. That play might have actually decided this game. Could have gone either way. If Jefferson City were able to play that correctly and survive with Jinx on the other side, Hickman High School would not have secured that Baron. Quadra kill wouldn't have gone over to the Zaya. It would have been huge for Jefferson City, but likewise, instead, they wipe the other team, and they pick up
and
Baron
I love it.
and
It's
the Dragon.
just back and forth and back and forth. And we do find that Hickman High School does tend to have the better macro play, macro and micro in the team fights. So they know exactly what their respective roles are. I need to protect, in this case, Matthew Perkins, who is doing most of the damage, or I need to pick the enemy squishy champion.
Oh. If Escape Velocity, Cameron Day hadn't already used his ultimate, that might have been an amazing pick onto GoSubot.
He's got a lot of damage.
Yes. But even staying at 1, 3, and 5, you got to respect that Orianna damage.
So with the Baron objective as we failed to mention earlier, the Baron objective empowers these minions. That's why you see all this purple going on right now. You get a faster recall, and the minions that you're next to get buffed, and they get bigger and stronger. So that does help you push down the turrets and eventually the enemy nexus, which is how you win the game. Now, it's Jefferson City's job right now to turtle in, to defend their base as well as they can, stem the bleeding. This is the part where if they can hold off long enough, the team fights will eventually go in their favor. But it's just about how effective Hickman can displace.
Another
beautiful
great
ultimate coming
two-man
down.
ultimate by Cameron Day. Ultimate coming out though instead from the disengage by Cookie, but Hal picks up a clean pickup onto Jarrett Kimball. Turtle, all the carries of Jefferson City are scattered all over the place. Uncle Angel picks up a kill on Ryan Wilkerson, DJ Rice as well, and only 3 people are left to defend this inhibitor tower. Cameron Day doing his best on the outside, dodging skill shots all the way, trying to wave clear. But with that Baron-empowered minions, Hickman High School is going to get a clean inhib. Probably escape with their lives as well.
Even though that was a great engage from Cameron Day, we do have to note one thing. Their star top laner, Chase Ruiz, was not there to fight. He needs to be there, or at least able to teleport into that lane so that they can have an even fight. But I'm sure Hickman identified that call. They saw Chase up in the top lane, and they said, we need to go in now, because that's exactly what their team comp is capable of.
Ooh,
Missed ultimate.
By Dragon the God. Here comes Chase though on the outside. Does have the Sonic shot by, triggered on him by the Lee Sin. Another alright ultimate coming out from the Orianna bubble, landing onto Chase Ruiz though, has to instantly flash. They're just trying to dodge all these skill shots, have to go back to their fountain to recover what little health they have. And that's again, another inhibitor going over to Hickman High School. You gotta say, we saw at the beginning, the Nami pick was excellent. They need that disengage.
That was a great ultimate.
As soon as
from
they
Renee.
get hit by the Orianna ultimate, instantly throwing out the tidal wave and able to kind of get around all that damage as well as picking up the kill on Jarrett Kimball.
Yeah, after Cameron's fantastic ultimate, the orb that pulls everyone into that circle, we instantly saw an ultimate from Tim Peters and instantly saw an ultimate from Renee Tellman, who both have fantastic disengage. They said, oh, we can't do this right now. We need to back out of this, reassess our situation. And right when they realized that both of their ultimates landed, they went in hard, because Chase, again, was up in the top lane, nowhere to be found in that team fight.
Yeah, great job by Hickman High School as well, isolating the target or I guess identifying the target and then isolating Jarrett Kimball. I think Jinx is really the only issue right now for our entire team. If she goes down, we're likely going to just roll over the rest of that competition. And excellent job picking her off first. She should be the last one to go down in this team for Jefferson City, and they pick her off first.
For sure. And again, not completely over yet, though there is a pretty substantial gold lead in favor for Hickman High School. Again, just hold out for this win. They want to pick their fights wisely. Right now, I see a little bit of a mismatch as the AD carry is actually alone, about to get picked off by Matthew Perkins. We don't know if he went down yet. I don't believe he did. They do leave Dragon the God, who does flash out of that situation. Everyone's safe so far. Nobody's picked out yet. Baron buff is gone, so they don't have as much pressure to take down this turret, but they do still have, that would be Jefferson City, they have 2 open inhibitors.
Ooh, whiffed Q by the Lee Sin. Uncle Angel ends up just kicking him though.
This will be the kill though. This will be the kill, so that's a lot of pressure.
Oh, maybe not.
Wow.
Have to run away from the zap. They just, maybe the benevolent.
Oh, there we go.
Angel, he comes back instead, sniped by
just
Hal
kidding,
instead.
I'm coming back. Currently 3-2-10. Congratulations, Bo. You managed to play an off-meta champion that is fantastic and fun to watch.
Yeah, and going back though, if it weren't for that unfortunate engage that happened in the mid lane, I was going to say Jefferson City did draft a lot of wave clear. They could have stalled out this game. Oh,
Fantastic Q by Bo. As the team fight does come in favor for Hickman High School, this may very well be the end of the game. Flash forward for good measure. Will not secure the kill on Chase Ruiz. He is one of the last remaining members to stand up to this team, but with so much pressure, with the all inhibitors down, it looks like Hickman will take this game. And again, I guarantee you this is a video, a VOD that Jefferson City will want to watch again and again to learn their more positional mistakes that they made, but they can certainly win
Yes,
against this type of team.
Literally, it was that one fight, that death push in the middle lane. They found an excellent pickup on how, and they just weren't able to position right. Jarek just wasn't in a position, neither was Cameron, to deal the damage necessary to take out Gosubot. They had one carry left, and if they won that fight, they would have been probably on the other side of this fight right here. They almost picked up a good pickup onto Gosubot there, and great ultimate coming out from the Orianna, getting Gosubot down to probably sub 200 HP, but able to sit around the outside of the fight, position well as marksman should, and able to lifesteal back up. And so the game will go over to Hickman High School, not quite losing that trap game, but that was very close. It was very good
fun
showing.
game to cast,
Very
I would
good
say. I
showing
had a lot of fun
by
casting this game.
Jefferson City.
Both players, both teams shaking hands right now. That's something you won't get in an online league. But again, fantastic game. Kudos to Hickman High School, who has done a fantastic job in their macro and micro play, positioning very well, diving very well, meeting each other and helping each other on the map when they need help. With that, though, that will be Week 7, the conclusion of the Ukatsu High School Esports League, brought to you by Columbia College, Veterans United, Armstrong Teasdale, and who am I missing? Hawthorne Bank. Thank you so much to our sponsors, and thank you so much to our players, parents, spectators, both on and offline, here live in person, or twitch.tv/playukatsu. We read that chat, don't you worry. Again, this is Joe, Ben, and Tyler signing out for Week 7. Thank you so much, and have a great weekend.